Welcome back to Rachel B. the Healthy Wee. Today we're going to be making horchata, something that I remember very fondly from my childhood and something I think you guys will enjoy for the summer as a treat. So here's what we're going to use, and I'll pop up some pictures on screen because I did a few things yesterday because of how long you let it sit, and we'll get into that. So the first picture you'll see is what it looks like in your blender. You're going to use 5 cups of purified water and 1 1/4 cups of raw, long grain, preferably white rice. I use an organic jasmine rice, but that's up to you. The next picture you'll see is what it looks like as it's blending. So what you're going to do is, at least on my Ninja, I have a setting that says puree. I hit it, it's a 1-minute cycle. You're just trying to break up the rice so that you can absorb it into, basically you're making rice milk in essence. So you're gonna go ahead and see that. The next picture is gonna be what it looks like when you're done blending. Rice will drop to the bottom and you kind of have a creamy, frothy liquid on top. Now, if you're just making a single batch, you can leave it in the blender at minimum of 6 hours, but I really do recommend you do it overnight. So 12 to 24 hours is best. I did a double batch, so I moved it, and that's the final picture, and what you see here, I moved it into a larger container because, again, I did a double batch. So now that we're on our second day and this sat overnight, and I'm just going to stir this up, and see as I stir it up, it gets kind of milkier and creamier. So we're going to want to kind of stir it up like so, and there's just a bunch of rice at the bottom. And then we're going to go ahead and strain the liquid out into another bowl, into a container, whatever you want to do. Because I have a double batch, I'm going to strain it into a second bowl because I'm going to be doing 2 separate applications to fit it into some smaller jugs. Now, most people would just throw this rice away. We have chickens, so I'm going to go ahead and cook it up and give it to the chickens. Because obviously now it's really small, shredded, finite, and I don't think you'd necessarily want to eat it, but my chickens will think it's fun, so I don't mind giving it to them. But otherwise, just go ahead and get rid of that rice. And this is quite a fine strainer. The other thing you could use, if you have it, is a nut milk bag. Would be very good as well to catch all the little pieces. I actually need to invest in one, so all right. So now that we've gotten all the liquid here, we're going to place it back in to our blender. But for me, because I'm using these 2 smaller containers, they're just easier for me to fit around things in my fridge. If you have 1 large container, that's fine. Let me go ahead and put this in here. And the reason I like to do this is because I feel like when you blend it with the additions that we're going to add here, I feel like you get a more consistency, and it helps bring it together. So I basically did half. Since we did 5 cups, we should have about 5 cups. Now to this 5 cups, which is half of my large batch or a normal batch, we are going to add half a teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of the best part, which is cinnamon. I definitely recommend you guys use a Ceylon cinnamon since it's much better for you. It has a lot of health benefits as well. If you guys are interested in what health benefits it has, please visit rachelbthehealthywee.com, my blog, where I did a whole article on exactly what kind of health benefits are involved with Ceylon cinnamon in your diet. That plus there's also 125 different recipes, so if you're interested in other things beyond the horchata, please take a look. All right, now we're going to do 1 cup of milk. Now this can be regular milk, almond milk. I prefer cashew milk because I think it's a little bit thicker and nicer. And then we're going to do 2/3 of a cup of a sweetener. I'm going to use pure and allulose mixed together, but you can not only change the ratio both on your cinnamon and your sugar, but you can also change whatever sweetener you like and whatever happens to work for your dietary constraints. But it all depends on how sweet you like it. So if I were you, add less. If you feel like it's a little too sweet, you know, you can't take it away, but you can put more in. So let's go ahead and throw that in. And then here is the secret ingredient. I like to put a tablespoon or 2 of acacia powder. I feel like this helps to keep it bound together. Acacia is an amazing fiber for your gut biome, but it's also used in manufacturing as an emulsifier. So I like to add 1 to 2 tablespoons, depending upon how you feel about it, per batch. And again, one batch is 5 cups of purified water, 1 1/4 cups of long grain uncooked raw rice, half a teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 cup of quote unquote milk or an alternative milk, and 2/3 cup of sweetener. Now let's go ahead and put our 1 to 2 tablespoons of acacia powder in and blend this up, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like when we've got it all done. Alright guys, there we have it. A beautiful, lightly brown, little frothy at the top horchata. I wanted to go ahead and show you real quick. That is the powder that I use. I'll link it below just so you guys know that's that acacia powder I told you about that's good for emulsifying. Let's go ahead and pour some of this over ice. And again, for me, this is just an awesome childhood memory because there was a particular jug that my grandma used, and whenever as a child you saw that on the counter, it was exciting because you knew she was going to make horchata the next day, which was obviously a super yummy sweet treat for us munchkins. So, oh yeah, just like I remember, super fun, super yummy, a sweet cinnamon fun treat without the extra added sugar because we did it using allulose and pure sugar. But you can use just stevia or, like I said, whatever sweetener you want. I used for this entire batch, which made both of these, which was the original recipe I gave you doubled. I only used the 2/3 cup for the whole thing, but that's because my husband and I are a little bit sensitive to sweet, especially my husband. So I kept mine a little bit more on the not so sweet side. You certainly can sweeten it up a little bit more with the stevia and so on, and just have a really yummy sweet treat that you can pour over some ice. I hope you guys give this a try, especially if you come from a Latin background and this kind of gives you some childhood memories. Enjoy, and this is going to be the end of our summer series as far as the food goes, and next we're going to be moving into a holiday series which will cover October, November, December, and January, because we're going to do some fun food and some art on our nails. Of course, always adding in some homestead updates. But we're going to do all kinds of fun stuff for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and of course New Year's. Looking forward to seeing you guys for that as well. Thank you for watching.